Hey everybody, I'm Monty Mont.
And I'm Tiff.
And I'm Deshandra.
And these
Our few
of our favorite
Sing. Yeah. I get good out here.
I didn't hold mine long enough. I'm sorry.
No, that was great. That was great. People, man, we back. We kicking off season 3. I'm excited, and it is a blessing to be here. Tiff, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good. I'm so excited for our guests. I got so much. Guys, it's our favorite kind of show, first of all, because our guest has a new project out, and we're going to do we're going to go track by track. Yeah. What were you thinking for this, all that, all the love? But guys, Miss Deshandra Perry is with us today. How you doing?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
Good. Thank you for joining us.
It's a pleasure.
I care. So full disclosure, first off, Tiff, you don't even know this. I have to give Deshandra a lot of props because I know I'm not no real singer, but every now and then I'll tune it up a little bit. And her and her husband once, they did a little something and I totally bid on it. And you know, when Saints' feet get a little light, I'm on organ. I heard them, I may not see it, but I hear. Where did y'all get that from? Because I straight took it from y'all.
I don't even know where. So my husband, he has his ear all the time in other people's stuff. And so I don't know if that was something that just, dropped in his spirit one Sunday or he heard it somewhere else, but it's an East Coast thing for sure.
Hey, we took it all the way out here to Las Vegas, but okay. Yes. So we're going to ask a few questions and then we're going to get into the project. So Tiff, I'm going to have you start off. Go right ahead.
Okay, now before I get started, can I just go ahead and say that the hair is giving everything that it's supposed to give on today? Sorry, I had to just go ahead and acknowledge that one time. Okay, so we'll get into a couple of questions.
Thank you, girl.
Welcome. Okay, so we have a couple of questions, and then like Monty said, we will get into what we love. We'll do this listening party and go track for track. Okay, so when is it that you realized, when did you start singing and when did you realize that you really could sing?
So I've been singing all my life. I started when I learned how to mumble is when I learned how to, hold a note. Little girl. But when I really realized that, okay, I can kind of do a little something. I was like 11 or 12 and I would always sing in church or whatever. But when Pastor Marvin Winans was like freaking out over my voice, I was just kind of like, oh, okay, I think I can do a little shum. I was like 11 or 12 at the time.
Oh, I can sing.
Yeah. And that takes me, I had a little side question because the first time I ever heard the name Deshandra was on Marvin Winans' project. And I remember, he just kind of introduced you in, and you know how Black folk is. I was like, Deshandra, who's Deshandra? I don't know no Deshandra. Yeah. And then you started singing. I was like, okay. I was like, all right, yeah, she's certified.
You
like,
just
wow. Yeah. So who were some influences? Like, who were some people that you kind of just really grew and learned from?
Okay, so I am just a music lover, but growing up, I listened to a lot of neo soul. Like my mom and my family really are just musicians and have musical ears. So a lot of D'Angelo and Kim Burrell and Music Soul Child and Brandy and just a lot of soulful people, Angie Stone and people like that. And then of course you have your greats like like James Brown and Michael Jackson and just The heavy hitters. I listened to some of everything and could duplicate it all when I was like a kid. So
Wow, wow.
Okay, so how difficult is it to find your own voice and your own sound in a music landscape filled with so much talent?
I don't want to say that it's difficult. It could be a little intimidating just because there's so much being put out into the world today musically. But it all has to do with self-confidence and knowing who you are. I think once you get past the fear of, are people gonna like this, or I don't know how they're gonna feel about this, and you can really open up and just be a creative. I think that's when things kind of start to get a little easier, and you just kind of put out whatever drops in your heart.
I like that.
That's actually very, very on point too. And so I want to kind of ask then, do you ever feel like, I mean, because your gift is so amazing and strong, and like you said, I had a feeling like you could kind of mimic what you heard even by some of the greats. Do you feel like in ministry there's a time where, okay, this is my ministry mode, or this is my music mode, or does it always kind of intertwine together in everything that you do?
Well, I think that's a really good question. It depends on where your heart is and why you're doing it. For me, music and ministry go hand in hand. So, I was really, really intentional about what I was singing about and the message that I was putting out there, because I didn't want there to be any confusion about what I stood for and what I believed in, because I know that there would be a time when I would have to, I know where my power is. I know what my calling is and what my gift is. And it is my voice. It's my song and my music. And so I don't want there to be any confusion about it. I believe that it goes hand in hand. It's, for me at least. Other people may think differently, they may want to separate the two. I mean, you hear a lot of talk about it, separating the music from the industry and ministry from the business and stuff like that. But I mean, if your heart is in the right place and you're doing it for the right reasons, I don't think there is any separation.
Listen, so a lot of people think that vocalists can just sing whatever, whenever, without much preparation. Can you explain some of the work that goes into taking care of your voice and perfecting your craft?
Yeah, so I'm really bad with that. I probably don't get serious about what I have to do until like 2 weeks before I have to do it. So for instance, I had to do Ricky Dillard's live recording a few months back. And prior to that, I'm, screaming and hollering and, just loud at home, doing whatever. And then 2 weeks, before, I'm like, okay, let me shut up. I'm just not good. I don't have anything to say to you guys. I'm on vocal rest, because I didn't want, Ricky Dillard and New G, like,
yeah,
that was pretty huge for me. So yeah. I just, I stopped talking. Vocal rest is huge. Making sure that you're consuming the right things, eating the right things, that you have stamina. So you're not up there sounding tired and sounding all out of breath and like, okay, this girl just rolled out of bed and didn't do anything to prepare for this moment, and you can hear it,
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Yeah. That's really, exercise. And I mean, like you were prepared for anything else. Like you are preparing for a marathon, because I think that's what it is. When you get ready to go up there and minister and do what you do, it's a marathon.
It's a marathon.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Guys, we about to go to the album. I'm gonna ask one more thing, because again, like with the gift, I believe a lot of times you probably could just roll out of bed and just sing like, I got it, you know what I'm saying? Other folks got to do the me, all that stuff, you know what I'm saying? It's like musicians, they just start playing, you know what I mean? But I just sometimes I wonder, like, have you ever really sung your voice out? Like, have you ever just been like, whoo, okay, like, that's all I got, y'all. Has it ever happened?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, it's it is a muscle, your voice. And if you overuse it, for me, I'm a perfectionist. So when I'm going into the studio, when I'm getting ready to sing live, anything like that, I want to be able to put my best foot forward. And if I've been over singing or over talking or just using it too much, you can hear it. It sounds a mess. It sounds a mess.
That's good to know. It's good to know. I love those behind the scenes. Okay, so all right, guys. So let's get into it now. Her new project is out. Oh my gosh, y'all! I'm trying to tell you right now. It's self-titled Deshandra. It's a 7-song. I guess we still call it the EP. Is this EP?
Yes, EP. But we couldn't really put EP. This is behind the scenes stuff too. We couldn't use actual EP on there, but it's an EP. Yeah.
What is that? Some legal thing or something? Or just
I don't remember exactly what it was, but I think it's just because I don't remember exactly. I'm sorry. I'm not even gonna lie. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I don't know.
Okay, so Deshandra, we want to really just give us the kind of the motivation or what was behind each track. So we're gonna start with the first one. Okay, first of all, y'all, she come out the gate.
Yeah.
Trouble don't last always. Like she come out the gate with Kirk. See, okay, so what is that like? You just call up Kirk line like, hey man, you free tomorrow? Let's just put a track together. Like, how you get Kirk on the
project? Can you jump on this track real quick? Yeah.
Listen, exactly what you guys are doing right now is what happened. The song was already done, okay? It was already completed. It was actually getting ready to be released within like the next couple weeks. And my team, they hit me and was like, hey, you guys, this kind of sounds like a Kirk Franklin song. And I was like, wow, it does, but I'm thinking like, okay, this is kind of far-fetched. I hadn't talked to Kirk in so long. I didn't want to just hit him up and be like, hey, you want to jump on the song? But I mustered up some courage, and I texted him, and what you hear him saying in the song is exactly what happened. I texted him like, hey, you want to jump on this song? He was like, yep. And that was that.
Wow.
He hadn't even listened to it before, like saying yes. His first time hearing it was when we were in the studio. He listened to the intro and just jumped on it. And I was like, this guy is a genius.
I wasn't even expecting that. That's amazing. Wow.
I know. I thought it was going to be like something else. It was really just like what she said. Like,
okay.
Can you do this, please? And he
was
so amazing. Amazing.
I'm gonna call him up after this. Hey man, I got questions. Yeah.
You have not because you asked not.
Come on. I was gonna say, go now, Monty, and get at Kirk people.
What up?
I'm just saying.
This is true. Tell us about Good Love, please. Track number 2.
Is that your song, Monty?
Now we're gonna at the end. I know these are like your children, Deshandra, but we're gonna pick like our favorite 2. They all good, but we're gonna save that. We're gonna save that for the end. Tiff, don't give me that look. Tiff don't like when we rank stuff. Don't give me that look.
No, because I feel like he put me in a box, especially when we get albums like this, and we love them so much, and you want to make me pick like 3.
Anime,
I'm like, I don't want to pick 3.
Anime, don't start for the company, anime. Don't start for the company, anime.
Okay. Good Love was actually recorded 10 years ago.
What?
Wow. Yeah, as a demo for Mary J. Blige.
Really?
And, yeah, and I was super young. I didn't know what I was singing about. We had to change a few of the words around because I'm like, okay, I need the people to know that I ain't talking about no man. I'm talking about the man. Okay, so it was for Mary J. Blige, and when we were working on this project, we were like, we need something else. And they were like, well, let's revisit Good Love. And I literally did it all pretty much in one take. You could actually hear some of the original background vocals from 10 years ago in the song still.
Wow. I like that. I'm not talking about a man. I'm talking about the man. Okay.
The man. Okay.
The man. Yes. Ain't no love like that love right there.
That
part.
Okay. Okay. So then I'm gonna come back to that. But okay, Never Alone, the third track. Never Alone. Another Well, I love this one too. So give us the
Yeah,
background on that.
that's my genre right there. Okay, so that song, my producer, he was like, okay, listen, if we're gonna break out an artist from Detroit, then we have to at least have an artist from Detroit a part of, the situation. So the sample in the beginning is actually Rudolph Stanfield from A Whisper and a Prayer.
Okay.
And that's the beginning of the song. And I'm gonna be honest. This is some behind the scenes stuff too. When they sent me the original demo of the song, I was just kind of like, I don't really like it because it doesn't really go anywhere. But then when I got in the studio and started singing it, I was just kind of like, I feel the vision here. And it's actually one of my favorites on the record now. So it's so crazy how things flip and turn around. But that song right there is that's my little ratchet baby right there.
Love it. Okay, so we are on number 4 of the EP, Surrounded, featuring Marvin Winans. Tell us about it.
Let's go.
Yeah.
There are actually 3 versions of that song.
Really?
So there's the one that you hear, there's one with a verse, and then there's one without a verse. And because it was a cover song and that song doesn't really go anywhere as well, but we wanted a CCM like worship, feel, because we wanted the EP to be a real well-rounded body of work.
Yeah.
And so, it was crucial that we had it on there, but with the verse that, we had some issues with getting it, approved and, them saying, no, ma'am, this is our song. What are you doing? And so finally, of course we had to go back and call the GOAT, the one who introduced me to the world. It's only right.
Yeah.
This is my debut stuff. And he came in, we knocked that song out. I don't think we left the studio until like 2 a.m. that night. It was actual magic. Wow. Being in there with him because, he doesn't do stuff like this really anymore. He is a pastor. He is pastoring a church during a pandemic.
Yes. And
for him to take time out of his schedule and to come into the studio and to literally sit down and create from scratch whatever it was that God dropped in his spirit was it was an honor. It was mind-blowing for me. It was inspiring. I'll never forget that.
Okay, so I want to ask you about that. I heard Marvin Sapp tell a story of working with Marvin Winans where he said, yeah, young man, I want to work on your first project. He said they go into the studio. He said Marvin Winans don't say nothing to him. He's just on the piano, just da 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 da, and he's just kind of sitting there like, okay, we gonna do something. And then he said all of a sudden a song just came out, and it was his first track on Marvin Sapp's first album. So did he just kind of feel the vibe and just go with it?
Yep, that's exactly what happened. He sat down at the piano and he said, well, I'm ready to work. I hope you're ready to work. And I said, absolutely. And he's just sitting and playing and it's so crazy because this is the exact same thing that he did on his record for I Shall Never. He just sat there and he looked at me and, and was just staring at me. And I'm just kind of like, okay. And all of a sudden he's like, when the enemy's closing in, I'm like, oh, that's what's happening right now. Okay.
Oh, we're going to do this. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
That's what Marvin Sapp said. Like, I got to be in the room when he does something like that.
Yeah.
It's magic.
It's
magical.
That is okay. See, I'm getting caught up. Okay, we supposed to move. Next track 5 is I Am. Another just, oh boy. I'm not trying to be favoritism on all these tracks, but man, it's really good. Give us a little backstory on that.
So that song is actually penned by one of the most amazing women I know in this industry. Her name is Anisha Burchett. And she's from Detroit as well. And she penned Never Alone as well. And she was actually a vocal producer throughout the entire project. And so, we're nearing the end of the process of getting all the music done. And she's like, I want to pen something for you. I want to write something for you. She's like, because I am a very private person. And there aren't a lot of people who really know me. But I'm able to still make you feel like you do in order to get the job done, right? And so that was what it was up until that moment. And so she said, I want to write something for you. She said, I need to know more. She said, tell me your story. And so I just kind of started talking
Mm.
and went down the list of some of the craziness that I've experienced in life. And I remember the day we went into the studio, it was the first time I heard it. I actually cut the track the same day that I heard it. And they played it for me. And I just started crying because I was like, wow, this is my actual story in a song.
Yeah.
And it was heartwarming for me. Like to this day, I still can't really listen to that song without crying.
Wow.
So yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely one of my favorites. I'm just gonna go ahead and put that out there right now. Okay, so then we go into Champion.
Hey.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about it.
Champion was actually recorded 10 years prior as well as a demo. And it wasn't even supposed to make it on this record. But we had some other songs that were supposed to be on there. And then Devin, who's A&R on my label, he was like, I really think we should revisit Champion. And it's crazy because the song was on YouTube for like a few years and they ended up taking it down. But there were a couple of people who had heard it. And I'm telling you guys, I had people like stalking me for that song. Like phone numbers, email addresses, everything. Like,
what?
Can you please put Champion back up on YouTube? Yeah, it was pretty crazy. So that one was that's another one that is very, very near and dear to me. That it's a part of my story as well. Just if you listen to the entire project, it's taking you through a journey. But from I Am into Champion, you can kind of hear like, I've been through all of that stuff, and Champion, I'm here. I made it through that. I'm good.
10 years you had that. That is wow.
Yeah, I got some heat I've been sitting on.
That's what I was gonna say. But do you think that it was like timely? Like, these things were kind of just sitting in the vault, and when it was time to release it, it happened.
Timing is everything with this entire project. I literally, this project was healing for me. Mm. It was something that I didn't do this for numbers or charts or anything. Like, I literally did this for me because I recorded it during the pandemic, and I think we all experienced some pretty crazy things during 2020. It's pretty traumatic, and I was in the middle of going through something like just ridiculous, and I'm like, you know what? I had there was no desire to put any music out at all. There was no desire. This was kind of like a random thing. I'm in school full time, married, first lady, my life is kind of where it is. And I just needed to get some stuff out. And so, once we started working and we started sitting back like, oh my goodness, this is all God ordained. All of this music that we've had for all of these years, it's finally time to, put it out there in the world to help somebody else. So
amazing.
Wow. So we get to the last track, powerful track, y'all, Believer. Just sprinkle a little bit for that on us too. How's that?
So Believer is it's kind of the outro to the story from, being happy, figuring out who God is, and, going through the journey to good love, and, then feeling alone with never alone, and, understanding that God is always with you, is surrounded, and then figuring out who I am with I Am, and that I'm strong with Champion, and with Believer, I'm back in love again. I know who he is again. I'm reminded.
Before we do that, Monty, I want to read something really quick. There was a quote, because where I ended off was Believer. Okay. And I love this. Okay. So here we go again. Can't believe I'm feeling this way. I told myself I was through with love because it always ends in heartbreak then. That's a part of Believer. That one right there tugged on me. So I wanted to make sure that I acknowledge that right when I was getting ready to do that, the lights went off. Oh.
Listen, I'm telling you, like, that song, music is, you can listen to it and take it however you want to take it. But that song, I think for anyone, male or female, anyone who's dated, anyone who's, been in a relationship, you can you understand that when you go through something, it's kind of just like, I'm never doing this again. And I said that, I literally did, but I was talking about with the human, God's love is something kind of different. Oh, yeah. And that's what I mean with good love. It's like, I'm not talking about a man, I'm talking about the man. His love is far better than any love that any, human being could ever give. Yes. And I'm definitely a believer.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, guys, this project is amazing. I love how you even gave some insight. Like even you talked about like Never Alone, you kind of didn't like it at first, but it grew. I remember hearing, I think it was Lily from SWV, and she didn't like, they did the Human Nature remix on, and at first she was like, oh, I hated it, I didn't want to do it. And then she was like, all of a sudden it was one of our biggest hits. And I love when artists talk about that, because we just see the finished product like, oh, I'm sure everything is just perfect and all that. But
yeah, they love it all.
No.
But okay, so let's rank, y'all. Let's go. The favorite two, they're all great, but the favorite two. I'm gonna go first because Tiff already giving me the look. Oh Jesus! But I have to go with. It's so crazy. I'm not gonna pick the Marvin Winans or the Kirk Franklin track. It's insane. Like, how do you not pick those two? Because those are outstanding. But Good Love. I mean, listen, I had a little remix in Good Love. I'm like, you could have went, Ain't Nobody. Okay. I already have a little remix on that because it's that kind of vibe on it. And I gotta go with Never Alone. Like them two. Oh, and that's my two. So okay, Tiff, come on now.
Okay, good. So I'm ready to give my top 7.
Yes, top 7. I love it. Yes, top 7.
But if I must, okay, so I'll give 2. Just like Monty, I'm going to say, oh, this is so tough. I don't like it. Okay. Good Love for sure. Yes. Okay, is there. And I'm going to go with Believer. Those are my top 2.
Nice. Good one.
I think it's so funny hearing this because I can kind of gauge a little bit of both of you guys' personalities based off of your favorite song.
Nice.
Yeah, that's for sure. Do you have any favorites on this? I mean, you kind of already broke down everything, but
my fave is definitely I Am. That's my top fave.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I love that.
I mean, obviously. And then after that, it's difficult for me because these are my babies. I don't know.
It's gotta be. But guys, this has been so much fun. Our new best friend, Ms. John Perry, we have enjoyed the time. Let's just let people know where they can find your music, find you at. Just give you.
So I'm everywhere as Deshandra. On social media, it's just DSHONDRA, just Deshandra. My music is everywhere. Oh, that is so beautiful to be able to finally say. It's on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, wherever you stream your music, wherever you listen to your music, you can find Deshandra, the EP.
Yes. Also, too, what I love, if you just put in Deshandra like in Apple Music, she's on other people's music, y'all. Like, come on now, James Fortune, like she's killing on tracks. Don't get it twisted. So all of the songs can come up, and your ear gate is gonna thank you. Trust me. So, anything else before we go?
You know what? I have one final question before we let you go. Okay. Because Monty, you just brought that up. When you put her name in, she's going to pop up on different tracks. So because you've been featured on, with different artists, is there one artist that you have not worked with that you would love to work with?
Nice.
Oh, one? That's hard. Work with everybody. I mean, in the gospel industry, I would probably go ahead and just say Kimberell right now. And she already actually agreed to do something. So you might get something sooner than later.
Nice. Got a scoop. Hey, that was a good question, Tiff. So, guys, this is our favorite scenes podcast. You know where to check us out, Mighty Sharp Network. Oh, let me just say some real quick station identification. Look here, Diddy. Don't sleep on Jermaine Dupri now. I heard a little talk on the verses, and Diddy trying to act like he too good for Jermaine. I'm like, hey, Jermaine got some hits. I just had to say that real quick.
Yes.
I was like, I don't know now, Diddy. But anyway, that's just I'm just putting that seed in there if they do that. So anyway, Chandra, thank you for your time. We appreciate you so much. You are a great personality. We love it.
Beautiful spirit.
Please give a blessing. There go my man. There's Bentley in the back. Okay, he was waiting to show his face. There's my man. But
We're gonna have a doggy play date.
blessings to your family, to your husband. Please tell Bishop anytime he want to come through. I'd love to have him on. Please, I got plenty. But thank you for the time. Have a blessed day. Okay.
Thank you. So nice talking to you guys.
Bye.
Bless. Stay sharp.